So hello everyone and welcome to the weekly coder. In today's tutorial I am going to be sharing with you how to use your code editor. So in order to start coding, or in order to start writing your lines of code on your HTML file, your CSS file or your JavaScript file, you need to know how to handle the editor, the app or the text editor in this case, that you are going to be writing those languages on. So in today's video I'm just going to be sharing with you how to use this code editor. So as you can see, this code editor is actually a code. That is the name of the code editor, a code. So you can just go into your Play Store and just click ACODE and just download it, or you could download spec editor. The reason I chose a code editor is because it handles it is more fast. So spec editor is actually very good. It has a lot of good interfaces and functionalities. It even has a community, but because of all those, although the file size is actually small, because of all those functionalities in spec editor, it's actually quite slow to handle, especially on low end phones, low end Android phones. So for everybody to be able to for this video to be smooth and easy to grasp, I'm going to be using a code editor so you can understand and follow along with me. So as you can see over on the editor, I have already created our trio file, our HTML file, our CSS file, and our JavaScript file. Now to create your file, you simply click on this toolbar over here, the one with the three dots. So I clicked on it, and on the top section you can see a section saying new file. So you just simply click on new file and you specify your file name. So index.html, index.html. Then you click enter. OK. But since I've already created my HTML file, there's no need for me to click OK. But for you, there will be need for you to click OK to create your HTML file. Then after that, you create your CSS file, so style.css. Then you click OK, and then you go on to create your JavaScript file, which is main.js. As simple as that. You click OK. So you can actually call them anything. Instead of index.html, you can call it my first site.html, but index.html is what everyone uses. Yes, we all use index.html to name our HTML file, style.css to name our CSS file, and main.js to name our JavaScript file. We normally use index, style, and main to name these three files, but you can choose to name it anywhere, anything you wish to name it. Just make sure that it ends with .html, .css, and .javascript. But in cases where you're going to be hosting your files on maybe a GitHub repository, you want to name your HTML file index.html because your Git repository tracks, for it to display your website to viewers online, it looks for a file name called index.html. So if your file name is not called index.html, it will not display your site. So it will be much preferable if you just learn to use learn to use these file names instead of putting your own. But if you still want to put yours, you can put yours as well. So I'll click cancel here, and over on our HTML we can see that is a blank page. If you were using spec editor, it will automatically just create your HTML structure for you, but a code also allows you to create your HTML structure kind of the same way you do it on your PC, but in a much different manner. So on PC, if you're on PC and if you're on your PC and you're using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, the most popular code editor, if you are using VS Code, you just simply click the exclamation mark, then enter, and voila, it will just create your HTML structure. But for our code's case, what you need to do is click on the exclamation mark and come over here and click the tab button here, and that's it. It just created your HTML format for you, and you can see it right here, the complete HTML format. And I also like the theme that they use. So they use a kind of on VS Code there was a particular name for this kind of theme. If you are using VS Code, I think it's something mono something, or is it wizard something, I've forgotten. But this kind of theme is also available on VS Code if you are using it on your PC. I really like the theme, it's kind of good looking. So as you can see, we have our HTML doc type, and if you can remember in our previous tutorials, I explained the functions of each of these tags in our HTML structure. But for those of you who maybe did not read it, because I would notice that most of you don't actually react to my lessons, so I'm not sure if you're actually following up or not. So please make sure to be reacting to my lessons so I know you are following up. So I'm just going to explain it again for you in this video. So the doc type.html defines the file type. It tells the browser what type of document this is. So it tells you that it is a HTML document, and not just any HTML document, the current HTML5 document. Now we move on to the HTML tag. So this tag is responsible for housing the entire code. So all the codes that makes up your website goes into this HTML tag. So as you can see, the open tag is over here, and below down here the closing tag is here. So it is used to house the entire code. The head tag is used to hold meta descriptions. So to clearly define what meta descriptions are actually the information that your website needs, but it is not actually visible. It is not actually immediately visible to the users. So it is what the browser uses to categorize your site. So as you can see in this meta description, we have in the beginning we have a chart set and we have UTF-8. What this UTF-8 means is that this website is in English. So UTF-8 means English, like it is the text in this website should be English. So if you want to change it, you change it to maybe another something. I don't really know what else you can change it to. I'll find out in our next video maybe. Then over here, meta, name, viewport, content. So this next one is just responsible for the responsiveness of your site. So width, device width. So it's just responsible for setting the responsiveness of your site. Although it's not completely responsible for that, you still have to do some tweaking in your CSS to make your site fully responsible. The next one, compatible, and also we come down to the title. So the title is what normally shows on the web tab. So the tab section, this is where this title description shows. So whatever I put inside here, document, or maybe the name of my site is maybe youtube.com, right? So if you search on youtube.com, if you, like for example, if you go to youtube.com, you search on your search bar, you write youtube.com, it opens youtube.com, and on the search bar you see youtube.com, maybe with other little text following up with it. So that is what this title is responsible for. It's responsible for naming your sites. Then inside the body tag is where the visible parts of your codes go to. this is where the interface of your code go to, the structure of your code go to. So the head is for the parts that are not immediately visible to the users, and whatever goes into the body is what is going to be immediately visible to the users. So this is where we write our codes, we put our headings, we put our body, we put our footer and our navigation links. Everything goes inside the body. Also, one more thing to remember is to link all your files together. So you have to remember to link your CSS and your JavaScript file to your HTML file. To do this, you come over inside the head tag and you just click link. Let's see, perfect. You just click link and tab and it will just generate the entire tag format for you. So this is link, the rel you put style sheets, href is responsible for the file path. So here we just put / style .css. Again, if you were using spec editor, it would automatically link all your files together, but since we're using our code, you have to link it by yourself. And also the reason why I'm actually using our code is because of its speed. So it is actually much more faster than spec editor when it comes to typing. So that's why I'm just using it for this tutorial. But normally I'll recommend you to use spec editor. You can choose which one you want to use though. So that's it. We have created our CSS link, and over inside the body we'll create our JavaScript link. Now to create our JavaScript link, we don't use the link tag, we use the script tag. So I write script. Let me fix that. Script. Wow, it even responds to spelling or tag errors. So script, nice. And inside the open tag of the script tag, so this is the open tag, this entire tag here, this entire portion here with this tag and this tag, this is the open tag, and this over here is the close tag. So inside the open tag, we create a source attributes and we specify the file location. So the name of the file is main.js, and just like that we have linked our JavaScript file. Basically simple. So if you are dealing with maybe short lines of JavaScript, maybe you are creating something very small, you can just easily just come inside the script tag and write your JavaScript code inside here. But if you are dealing with a very massive amount of JavaScript code, it is advisable to create its own specific file so you can handle that differently. So that's it. We have learned how to create our files, HTML, CSS and JavaScript files. We have defined the structures of a HTML file. We have learned how to link our style CSS file and our JavaScript file to our HTML file. So I hope this was helpful, and please do not forget to react to my videos and my text posts so that I can know that you are following up. So please remember to react to it, and hopefully I hope you have learned some things from this, and stay tuned because this evening we are going to be setting up with our next tutorial. So I will share what our next tutorial would be later on in the day. So thank you, and have a nice day.